back to the Messy RealiTea Breakdown with your host, Ray.
And your girl, Lily.
This is the podcast where we break down our favorite reality shows in the name of fun, shade, and a splash of messiness. Welcome to season 2. How you doing, Ray?
I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm doing great. Listen, we're excited because Valentine's Day is coming. How do you feel about Valentine's Day? You got a boo?
I don't have a boo. I mean, the only boo I have is like my hand.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so
the other hand doesn't get jealous.
No, yeah, the left is probably gonna get jealous. So
yeah, you can switch it up every now and again. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think the right though just seems more appropriate.
Yes. Okay. I don't know how to. Well, we are excited because, like I said, we are in season 2.
What about you? What about your Valentine's Day?
I was just gonna skip past it because I ain't got no man.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I do have batteries. So, anyways, like I was saying, we're in season 2 of the Messy RealiTea Breakdown. We are super excited because this season we will be covering. You want to go ahead and tell us? What are we covering?
We'll be covering Flavor of Love.
Flavor Flav! Yeah, boy!
It's like, this is like, I would say my second reality show that I really got into. And it aired on January 1st, 2006. So I want to ask you, do you remember where you were in 2006?
I was in high school. I think I was a sophomore when that show came out. And it's so crazy because I remember that was the show that like we would all watch the night before, and then everybody was talking about it the next day. Where were you? You had to have been like in middle school, maybe 8th grade. I was
in middle school. I was in 7th grade.
Oh.
And because, the start of the school year, the next semester just started. So I was in 7th grade, and I remember watching with my dad. We were watching it together, just the mess of it all.
Was it awkward, though? Because, I was watching it tonight, and I thought to myself, okay, this is a little grown for my little behind to be watching this. I mean, even though I was in high school, but still. Was it ever awkward when some of the scenes would come up with your dad, or you just watched it just for the fun of it? Y'all didn't really...
Yeah, we just watched it for the fun of it because we knew what it was about. It wasn't like to be taken seriously, but it was just like all the stuff that transpired in the show. It's a ridiculous fun watch. And I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yes. Well, what was the name of this episode?
15 beds and a bucket of puke.
Yes. Ugh. Well, the show starts off, I felt very nostalgic watching it because, you see the intro, you see this mansion, and Flavor Flav. I don't even know. Well, 20 women are waiting for Flavor Flav to arrive, right?
Yeah.
And he shows up in this bright Pepto-Bismol. Could you call it a tuxedo? Is that considered a tuxedo?
I would say, yeah, a tux.
And it had like the tail, like a super long tail, and you have this assistant / maybe possible bodyguard. I don't know. He's like bringing him into the mansion, and he's like holding the tail ends, kind of like how like maybe a bridesmaid would hold a bride's gown. Yeah. And he enters, and we get a little background on him, so he was fresh off of the Surreal Life, and he had a romance with Bridget Nielsen. Did you watch the Surreal Life?
Only season I watched was more Omarosa.
Oh wow. I know that I watched it, but I can't really remember a lot of the character or the people that were on there as celebrities. But I will say, I think this season or this period of VH1 is when they were really in their bag when it came to the reality shows. Yeah, definitely. Like, they knew what they were doing. Absolutely. Shout out to the Celebrity Fit Life or whatever that show was called too. I love that one too. So anyways, I got sidetracked, jumping back. So he's fresh out of his relationship with Bridget, which was another celebrity that was on the show. And it seemed like they had a little fling. But it sounds like he said that she's married now, or at least at that time. So that relationship was over. And he was like, y'all heard of the Bachelor? Well, I'm the Blackchular. So you can tell this show is like its own interpretation of the Bachelor.
And that's the thing. Like, I've never seen The Bachelor a day of my life, The Bachelorette, none of them. But I watched this. This is definitely my Bachelor.
I did give it a chance when they had the first Black Bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay. And then I watched, it wasn't their first Black Bachelorette, it was the other one, and I hate that I can't remember her name right now, but I enjoyed that a little bit more than I enjoyed Bachelor. But of course, like you said, this show way more entertaining.
Yeah, and so, you know, he is the Blackchiller, but he says even though he has the money, fame, and this real big mansion, even though it's paid by VH1, right. But anyway, even though he has all that, he has no woman to share it with.
Let me ask you, do you think that he's a good-looking guy?
Personally, I'm not attracted to him.
Yeah, I don't find him attractive, but I think as an adult watching it, I was like, I can see the charm about him, believe it or not.
Yeah, he's funny, kind of just like, doesn't take himself that seriously.
Mm-hmm. He actually has really nice skin too. I was like, there's literally no blemishes. Like his skin was smooth like butter, baby. But yeah, he has the little golds, the big nose ring, all of this, he's very unique and expressive in his own way, but I can't say that I find him attractive.
To each its own,
To each its own. But he arrives with like a huge bouquet of flowers. It was like a mixed bouquet. And it didn't really dawn on me why he had them. I thought he was just carrying them, but it was to give each of the women a unique flower.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, you remember he was passing the flowers out to the women.
Sorry, I wasn't even paying attention. I didn't know there was like the flowers were like specifically about uniqueness. I'm just kind of lost right now.
It wasn't that deep. I'm just saying that the bouquet of flowers, it was like a mixed bouquet. So like the women were getting different types of flowers, but there was like no meaning behind them. Like, well, you get this type of flower because of this. No, not like that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's sweet. And okay.
And so the women are already trying to shoot their shots at him almost immediately. One woman, she was later, we won't reveal her name yet, but she told him to turn around because she wanted to spank him. One woman, she kisses him. I was like, ugh. There was another woman who was like in tears, and she was like, oh, like I feel so connected to him. He's been so expressive and he's allowed me to be loud and be my own self. And she was like emotional over this guy.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then one woman was talking about the fact that she wonders if he takes care of his kids. Like, sis. I mean, it's a legitimate question. But
it is. This is, if he's trying to find a relationship, we have to know how he treats his kids. So
yes, we saw one starlet in the making. I'll go ahead and spoil her name. Of course, it was New York.
Of course.
And it's nice to see like the beginnings of New York, because she really is a reality queen for sure.
Yeah. And it's funny because, again, as a kid watching this, I could not stand her. Like, I was like, why is she this way? She's just causing all this mess and drama. I'm just like, what is wrong with her? But then as an adult, I'm like, okay.
She had bills to pay.
Yeah, she played the game.
She did. She definitely played the game. She was there to win it. One thing that I really loved is just seeing, and I don't want to come off, can women be misogynistic against like their own sex? I don't know.
Yeah.
But, well, I hope I don't sound this way when I say this, but it was really nice to see the women looking natural for the most part. This was pre-contour and highlighting, pre the Kardashians, pre the BBLs. I just like seeing them just be their genuine, gorgeous selves,
Yeah. I don't think what you're saying is like, bad per se, because like through the past, 10 years, I don't know, 10
Kardashians, honestly.
Yeah, it's like we've seen like a specific type of body type, and it's like, that's always, been pushed out. So yeah, I get what you mean by seeing like, going back and just seeing, even if there were surgery, it wasn't as, similar, I guess.
Green or similar, because everyone's starting to look kind of like the same. Which, love your body, do what you want. I'm just saying that's what I noticed on this show. And anyway, so Big Rick, the assistant, tells the ladies like, all right, it's time for you to go upstairs and find a room. And one thing that was kind of pointed out, one of the girls realized that there were 15 beds, but there's 20 women. So automatically they knew there was going to be an elimination of 5 women from the jump.
Don't. But like after that, Rick, I guess, escorts the ladies to the living room, so they're waiting in line to get their nicknames.
Yes.
And one thing, it's funny, like looking at this now, and I didn't even think about then, is how Flav was like touching them. So I'm like, damn, like if that was me though, and that was someone randomly touching me, it's like I'd be uncomfortable.
I literally wrote on my sheet of paper, high key sexually harasses the women.
Yeah.
Tags.
And it's so crazy how like during that time, I feel like I can just speak for myself what I thought, like how the 2000s seemed kind of like progressive for its time, but like now in 2023, it's just like, oh, this is a lot going on.
I agree with you, and I think it's because we never thought about sexual harassment. And even this is the thing too, side note, is that when women, so let's bring up R. Kelly for an example. When the topic of R. Kelly was thrown in our faces back then, it was kind of brushed under the rug, like, oh, it's just R. Kelly being R. Kelly. But then I think the Me Too movement has really opened up a lot of our eyes. We've learned more about rape culture and stuff like that. So I think that because we were not educated at that time, it was kind of hard to see that, and it was probably something we didn't even think twice about. But just watching him like plaster the name tags on the women and like, catching a feel, it was kind of uncomfortable. And even though I know the women signed up to be on this show about potentially dating him, I still feel like, does that mean that they're signing away their consent?
I get what you mean. That doesn't, I would say no. Like, doesn't.
And the other thing is, okay, there's a debate that I have with a lot of my girlfriends, which is it sexual harassment if the person isn't attractive? Because I feel like if Flavor Flav looked more aesthetically pleasing to like whatever, like an Idris Elba or something, I don't know, I'm just naming random people, would it be okay? I mean, still not okay, but I just feel like sometimes people interpret sexual harassment based upon the attractiveness of a person at times.
I get what you mean, because I've thought that too. But I also didn't want to like say anything because I'm just like, they're gonna, because I didn't want to come across as very offensive. But I still think regardless if you don't want it,
it's sexual harassment.
Yeah. So
regardless of if you're attractive or not. But that's something that I've always wondered. But not to get too deep, because again, we have to kind of think with the mindset of 2006 versus 2023. So yes, he's naming women. So you catch what, Hoops, because she likes basketball. Yeah. I don't really know why he called Pumpkin. Was it because of her boobs?
I think it's just like, I think it's like a term of endearment. Like,
sure.
Yeah, hey, Pumpkin. Like, well, yeah, we know Cherry.
Cherry got hers because of them endearments that she had poked out. Picasso, because she had the little art drawing on her shirt that she drew. Smiley.
Sorry.
Oyster.
Picasso, I don't know, it's just me. Do you think she looks like Rashida Jones a little bit and Lark Voorhees from Saved by the Bell? You
want to know who came to mind for her? I thought about James Williams. Is that his name? Who was the guy from Grey's Anatomy, the light-skinned guy? Jesse
Williams.
I thought about his ex-wife for some reason. Like, they gave me similar vibes. Yeah. I'm sure his ex-wife is a lot more sophisticated than that, but that's just
I see it, yeah.
But I'll have to watch the show again to see if I get Lark Voorhees, or who else did you say?
I said Rashida Jones a little bit, but I think it's more so Lark Voorhees, I'm thinking. But anyway, we named Smiley, you said.
Smiley was cute.
Yeah.
I thought she was cute. We got Hottie.
Oh yeah, Hottie.
Hottie was something else. This is one girl that I fell in love with immediately, which was Goldie. I really loved Goldie because she just seemed like a relatable girl's girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was hilarious.
Rain,
yeah. I didn't really know why but then he had that one moment where he was like, he couldn't figure out what he wanted to name homegirl.
Yeah.
And what did he end up calling her? Shells, huh?
Shells, yeah. I feel like New York and Hoops are the ones that really made a lot of sense in terms of nicknames.
In Georgia, since Peaches.
That's true, yeah.
But yeah, so Flavor Flav and the women, I don't even remember. Okay, so then the women kind of go on their own again, right?
Yeah, so I think from what I wrote, it's like the girls are just getting, they go, they just kind of let loose a little bit and they just pop some champagne.
Yes.
So they're just drinking, and then one of the girls, I think her name was Apples.
It was Apple because I wrote it down.
Yeah. She was like, this is not exact. The way she was saying, like, enjoy the night before, because one of us are going home after it. And then the women were like, why are you just like bringing the mood down by saying that? Like, you're being weird. And it's just like, they were just kind of not feeling it.
That's what you bring up first. Let's talk about the fact that she was thinking, oh, well, I wasn't really sure if I was going to get along with the other women, because I didn't know if they were going to be like ghetto.
Yeah.
She said that too. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Again, trying to watch it with a 2023 mind, but I think even in 2006, I would have been offended by that, honestly.
Yeah, a balance.
But Flavor does eventually join the mixer with the women, and he's just kind of like being pulled in each direction with the different women sitting down talking to them, which is something that they do on The Bachelor as well. Like the first night when the women or the men they meet, they kind of try to get their moments to make first impressions with The Bachelor. And in this point example would be Flavor Flav. And it was kind of funny because you see the beginning of a beef between Pumpkin and New York, which I'm trying to figure out, like, what is it stemming from besides the fact that y'all both want Flavor Flav? I don't.
Well, Pumpkin said, I feel like a lot of this comes from Pumpkin because she's the one who said that she feels like New York is fake, because New York didn't say anything about Pumpkin. If anything, she just said, like, I'm the baddest bitch here and all these other women are going to go home.
Yeah, so maybe she felt a little intimidated by that.
Maybe. But again, it's funny. And it's funny, like, how they're together and then not knowing what's going to happen later on.
Right. We can't wait to get to that point.
Yes.
But in the meantime, Hottie, she steals Flavor Flav from Pumpkin in New York. And, she's having her little first impression. She's, like, wearing this cute little pink hat, pink robe with the fur. What makes me laugh is that every time she blinks, they do like a sound effect.
It's like a ching ching or like
something like that. It's hilarious.
Well, she came there with a purpose and a goal. She said this is her man, her mansion, and her money.
Yes.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, we like her. We like a woman with a plan. So
yes, Hottie. I wonder why he called her Hottie. Think it's because she had big boobs? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reason.
Well,
definitely.
I believe he got pulled away. Well, women kept trying to pull him away from Hottie. So eventually, I guess they were successful. And then we jumped to a couple of scenes, but there's one scene where he's sitting down. I don't really recall who the women were. It could have been, I don't remember. I'm not even gonna.
It was Picasso, Goldie, and Sweetie. No, yeah. Sweetie, that is her name. Yeah.
I thought Sweetie was the cutest one, by the way.
Yeah, I like her. I really do too. I think her and Goldie, if anything, were my favorites.
Goldie was my favorite. Hands
down. So they're talking, and they're just trying to get to know him, and then Picasso is talking about how she masturbates.
Yeah, they get into the sex topic. And then what's the girl's name again?
Sweetie.
Sweetie. She was asking him, like, can it still go up, or do you need help?
Which, is a valid question, right?
Yeah.
Silence is
I mean, because I don't find Flavor Flav attractive, so I don't really want to imagine anything happening below the belt.
I mean, I don't either, but I mean, they're talking about sex, so we can just,
You know
just
what
talk.
I'm curious about, though? Do you think that the women knew who The Bachelor was when they signed up for the show?
Based on what I heard, I don't think some of them knew. So I think Hoops didn't know, because I think I remember watching an interview she did. She was talking about how, I guess, like a friend told her about the opportunity, she went, but she didn't know who, The Bachelor was. So,
because I wonder, would women have been as eager to sign up if they knew?
I'm gonna just be honest. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be real. No, they wouldn't.
Again, I love Flavor Flav's personality. Watching the show this time, because as a kid, I think it was just like, oh, this is really interesting. It's like watching an accident and you can't really look away from it. But I do like Flavor Flav's person. He just has a very childlike personality, I guess.
I think it's just... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I guess I can say that for the ending, because I don't... But anyway, you can continue.
So yeah, they're asking him, and he's letting them know, like, listen, it still works. I don't got a car, I got a bus or something, he said.
I think he said he got a big cock.
Well, actually, when he said he had a big cock, it was because there was a chicken.
Yeah, but the editing made it seem like he was talking about his own.
I think that they played it off, but that was funny because ladies were like, huh? And he's like, no, I'm saying over there, that's a pretty big cock. I thought that was funny.
And then, as they're talking, Cherry comes and takes him away. Huh?
I said pause.
What?
You said Cherry comes. Continue.
Cherry comes. Wait, I didn't even mean it like that.
You would have thought she would have, though, because she pulled him away, like you said. They're off to the side. And she's like kissing him. And I was like, ugh.
Kissing and hugging and caressing and,
he's
feeling
like squeezing her, not necessarily her butt cheeks. I feel like he was respectful, but he was touching her. But I feel like she also kind of made it okay to do that. Yeah. And the other women are looking, not in horror. I think I would have, but the other women are looking. Let me not be so mean, because I don't know Flavor Flav. I'm sorry, y'all.
I think they're looking at her as like, wow, like these women would do really anything to stay here and like show their love and devotion.
Because a few scenes back, you remember Smiley had jumped in the pool and she had on this cute little two-piece or whatever. But then Cherry like jumps in the pool, so she's already like confident. She's feeling herself, and I think that she decided this is my time to shine, Playboy. Let me go ahead and let him see if I taste like a nice cherry too. I don't know.
She's marking her territory. She knows what she wants. She's gonna get it.
And then it gets wet because Rain jumps in. So then Rain comes behind. So it's kind of like they're making a Flavor Flav sandwich. And remember, Rain is the one that was crying about like, oh, and I feel so connected to him because, and I was like, I know this girl ain't crying over Flavor Flav.
That's what I'm saying. She says she loved Flav before she even came there.
Yeah.
And I know she's like probably obviously acting in a way, but I don't know. I'm gonna ask you something. Do you believe in love at first sight?
Sure.
Okay.
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I think that's how crushes develop. Like if you see someone and you're like, ooh. I actually have a few in mind. I mean, I wouldn't call it love at first sight. I'll call it lust at first sight or like at first sight. But yeah, I think that that's possible.
Okay. I disagree.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I mean, again, I feel like if anything, it's more lust at first sight. Because, like, how do you love someone you don't even know them just by first, Well,
lust is a form of love. So that's why I say, I had to think about it. But, yeah, I don't think that any of these women fell in love with him at first sight, though.
No. So I'm just like, okay, Rain, I get what you're doing, but kind of bring it back.
Yeah, can we, like, calm it down? You're doing too much.
Yeah.
My favorite part though is my girl Goldie. You know, she got her champagne pouring it. And they was drinking strawberries and champagne.
Strawberries and champagne.
Yes. I loved it. She was a vibe. She was hype. Like, I feel like she was there to have fun. Like, she knew what the objective was. But homegirl got out of the country and she was just ready to like turn up. I loved her for that.
And she got so turned up that she, you know, was knocked out drunk on the couch.
But you know what I like though? Is that the women didn't seem like they were judging her. They were helping her. Like, it's still a competition. So they could have let her just pass out on the couch with no bucket to throw up in. They could have made her look bad. But, you know, I believe it was Rain who was trying to tell her, like, nah, sis, like, you got to get it back together. Here, eat some bread. Get yourself together. You know, like, it was a sense of community. I loved seeing that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I think this goes to show she has a really good personality, like.
Because I feel like if she, you know, if people really didn't like her like that, they wouldn't have like helped her. So UNITY.
Hey, even though Picasso was in the back hating a little bit, it smells like chicken in here. I was like, that's what I don't need to.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy though? After that, how she gained her composure back. So
she surely did, because she was embarrassed, and I hate the fact that she was embarrassed. And you can tell she genuinely still wanted to be on the show, but I feel like that little pep talk from Rain is probably what kind of helped her get it back together. Yeah,
definitely.
So now we're getting down to the last few moments of the show. Well, at least fourth quarter. And Flavor Flav, he has to make a decision. So he has all these wall full of clocks is what I'll call them, with all of the nicknames on them. Tough decision, right? 20 girls.
Yeah.
Only 15 can stay.
So, you know, we fast forward to the women are standing there. They're really nervous and, you know, wondering if they're going to go home or not. And Flav comes down the steps. He's ready. You know, he's starting elimination night. And his first clock goes to Hottie.
Blink, blink. I think she made a strong impression because she was the only one that, at least from what we saw as a viewer, took the time to actually pull him away and bring him on the inside.
I mean, but how was it bold when I'm sorry, I don't understand that. How was it bold when they were both when they were all trying to pull him to their.
She was the first to do it though. Like, she pulled him in the inside and just wanted to have one-on-one time with him.
Okay. Yeah.
And it seemed like all the other women, they kind of had to share their time. I mean, technically they were all sharing time, but like they were sharing their time with at least one other woman.
Like, she showed initiative.
She did.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. See that. I don't even remember in order because the first clock was what I wanted.
We were worried about the first clock. New York was probably like the third.
Yeah.
Of course, he chose hoops. It was kind of funny because he was like, in this one right here, he looks at the clock. He's like, she's a piece of work. And so, of course, you're thinking he's going to choose Picasso, but he ends up choosing Georgia. So Picasso was kind of bummed out.
And then fast forward, we get to the last clock, and we don't know what's going to happen. Okay.
I was shocked to hear her name because remember he was looking. He was like, he said something. This one is something different, or this one I don't remember. And she mouths, "He's not going to say my name."
Oh yeah, she did say that.
And then she ended up being chosen. But yes, as you were.
Oh no, so. We get to the last clock, everyone's on the edge. You're wondering, like, oh my God, am I going to be the one that's picked? And then Goldie's worried, like, I was drunk and I didn't get to spend a lot of time with him. So I hope this doesn't
jeopardize her chances of being.
So, dun, dun, dun. So he reveals Goldie is staying. Yay!
Hey, strawberries and champagne.
All right, North Carolina girl is staying.
And what made me laugh though, he said, because I like it because she country, ham hocks, pig feet, whatever he was saying.
Stereotyping. But anyway, so the women that were eliminated were Smokey, Picasso, Cherry, Bubbles, and Shells.
Cherry took that shit hard.
Yeah, she did.
And the thing is, she took one for the team. Like, she was out there actually trying to, like, kiss up on him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I really thought she was going to be selected. I was surprised that he didn't choose her.
So if this was a show, like, you win $10 million, but you have to date Flavor Flav, would you?
No.
Ooh.
I'm not selling my soul for no damn Flavor Flav.
Okay, good for you.
So would you? In my Tamar voice?
No.
No. I feel like you was gonna say yeah.
No, I was gonna say no. Mm-mm.
I mean, the way eggs are costing right now, though, maybe.
His net worth is $2 million. So
Then or
I
no?
don't know. Maybe.
I mean, he was. And one thing I will like to say is that Flavor Flav really is a hip-hop icon. He became a reality star a little bit later on in his career, but he's part of Public Enemy. I feel like a lot of times when people talk about hip-hop pioneers or people who have had an impact in the hip-hop culture, Public Enemy is one of the names that is always brought up. So I hope that this show didn't really take away from his accolades, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe for a certain generation, like maybe it's like millennials and like older Gen Z kind of view Flavor Flav as, from the show, since that's where we kind of like really knew him from. But like older generations, who we really got to see his music more, maybe it's like different. Yeah, so I don't think he signed up for the show for a reason, kind of knew what it was about, so.
But I do want to go back. Why do you think Cherry wasn't selected?
I was going to get into that actually in our winner and loser segment. So.
Well, then I already know my winner in my book.
Yeah, same. We want to say it at the same time? 1, 2, 3. Goldie.
Yay!
Yeah.
I really like Goldie. Like I said, she just seemed like, honestly, I think that they would have been more realistic as a couple.
Yeah.
Going down to the function. Where's she from? North Carolina?
I
could just see her like, yeah, this is my man Flavor.
But you know what, Flavor? I feel like yes and no. Like, I could see, yes, you might could say you could see them as a couple, but I feel like he's a little bit shallow. I feel like he would view her more as a friend. I don't know. Based on the show.
Yeah. I don't think he has any room to be shallow, though, as I'm being shallow to make that accusation.
But for loser, I don't know if we have the same loser, so I'm just going to say
1, 2, 3.
Cherry.
Yeah, mine is Cherry as well. Because of the fact that you put yourself out there and it didn't work in your favor.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say the same thing. She was really like doing a lot to prove her point, but it kind of backfired. But then it's like I want to also give her a little bit of grace, because I feel like on these shows, it's kind of implied if you don't really kind of do, put yourself out there in some way, then you can go home. So maybe she's thinking like, I don't know, I need to at least prove like on the first night I have to do something.
Yeah, I don't know why, because she actually made a move.
That's what I'm saying. So usually that if that happens, they stay home. They stay in the house. So maybe he
have to do nothing to get selected.
I mean, she's light skinned and biracial, and I'm just being honest, people. I feel and she's conventionally attractive, so I think she don't really have to do much. But I don't know, like cherry.
Yeah,
I'm
I guess
sorry,
you
girl.
popped it.
Yeah. So, like, rating wise, so how would you rate this episode?
I'm gonna give, for our first episode, honestly, an 8. Very entertaining. I love that they gave us background on Flavor Flav. I like that you kind of got to see a little bit of the women's personality shine. We see the introduction of Pumpkin and New York, and like, they're brewing beef. But also, like I said, it was nice to see the beginnings of New York. And I don't know, Flavor Flav just has a lot of personality. I think that he was great for that show.
Yeah, I gave it the same rating, 8 out of 10. I think good first episode, had a lot it kept you entertained, and you're looking forward to more in the next episode, the rest of the season. So yeah, I think it's good to look at this both with 2006 and 2023 eyes. So it's like we can acknowledge like how funny and some of the stuff was, but then also, we have some views on certain things that are like, we can also mention that too. We're complex. We're humans. We're very complex.
But I think it's kind of refreshing too, though, to show how much the world has evolved since then. Like, obviously, there's still a lot of work that we need to do, but I think speaking from a woman's perspective, I'm kind of happy to see that we have evolved and we've been talking more about sexual harassment. And I mean, again, I know this show is meant to be playful, so I'm not going to be too heavy on it, but it's just a sense of relief. Like, we're talking about it now, where before, again, I hate to use R. Kelly, and I'm not comparing R. Kelly and Flavor Flav by any means, but just the fact that those conversations have been had and we've moved so much more progressively since then.
Yes, yeah, you're definitely right.
Any final thoughts?
I have no final thoughts. Well, every time when I say that, I end up saying something. But I'm just like, I'm really excited to break this down, because after we did Housewives, that was really fun. But it was Housewives of Potomac first season. It was fun, but it was, I feel like, a little bit heavier. Where this show is just kind of just free for all fun, mess, just trash. But you also have some really good people on here in terms of just like different personalities, and you can relate to them and stuff like that, or hate them. So I'm really looking forward to this season. I am.
I'm excited to relive things, because one thing about me is I like going back, and especially watching it from an adult perspective versus watching it when I was like in high school, so many new perspectives and things. I mean, I just don't remember everything, so it's nice to kind of watch it with a semi-fresh pair of eyes. You remember some of the iconic moments, but it's nice to kind of catch the context again.
Yeah, and it's funny though, when we actually like decided we were going to do Flavor Love, how I was seeing a lot of like memes and like, it was like, because I think it was because January 1st, again, this came on January 1st, 2006. And I think that's during the time we decided. So it's kind of funny, like when I go on social media, like Instagram and stuff, how I would see like
been a resurgence.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is really working out in our favor then. So
it aligned perfectly. So that is exciting, because they're on their anniversary again, and that's why they're being celebrated. So we had no idea. This was just, Ray and I kind of like brainstorming what show did we want to cover next, and we had no idea that would happen like that. So this is really good, because people are talking about it again. If you want to catch it, you can catch it on Pluto. Pluto is a free app. You can actually catch a lot of Viacom-esque shows on there, I guess.
And you can also watch it on Tubi as well, and that's free. As is
Pluto. Did Tubi have a lot of commercials?
No. It didn't. I like 2 or 3, but they're very short. So
you watch yours on Tubi? Okay, so he watches on Tubi. I watch mine on Pluto. Either way, you have 2 ways of catching it. And yeah, so don't worry about if you don't. It's free to watch. I mean, that's also pretty good.
It's hard out here, so we're helping you out, guys.
Yes, we are.
So, that wraps up this episode of Messy RealiTea Breakdown, the podcast where we break down our favorite reality shows in the name of fun, shade, and a splash of messiness. We also want to let you all know that you can follow us on Instagram at Messy RealiTea. That's TEA Breakdown.
So we look forward to seeing y'all. Give us your feedback, your thoughts, and if you have any shows you want us to cover next, let us know.
Yes, we are open to suggestions. Thank you all for listening. Catch you next time.
Bye-bye.